Hello, welcome back. Thank you again for being here and continuing to listen to my story about my ascension journey. The reason why I have done these videos is for reference for those in the future that will go on their own journey or that have already gone on their journey and can refer to someone else, that has gone through it, or if you're in the middle of your journey to kind of understand the things that are taking place. So it's more about what has happened to me. What has happened to me on my journey is not exactly what's going to happen to you. This was my journey, the path that I chose before I even came here. Your path is going to be totally different. The lessons that you need to learn, um, the avenues that you need to take, whatever it may be, will be different, but you'll see similarities between your journey and my journey if you are on an ascension journey. Okay. And there's very few of us that are now at this point, but many more are coming. So the reason why we may be one of the first groups at this time is to help those that are coming behind us. Okay. All that said, if you've been following my journey, you know that for around 5 years, from April 2020 to kind of April 2025 of this year, I was kind of on this traveling um, journey, part of it, where I was trying to get from point A, where I had established my home in New York, had been working on Wall Street. I had quit my job there on Wall Street, not knowing I was going on this journey, but, you know, being led to release that position, that job, and then subsequently going into my journey starting in 2020. And throughout that whole 5 years, it's kind of been, I was on this movement to get to a certain destination, to my destiny. Okay. I've come to the end of that. And I'm at this now 0 point. And that's what I wanted to talk to you guys about today. So when we talk about 0 point, right? Back in, I don't even know what a math, um, back in school when they used to give us the math numbers, and it'd be usually we say 1, 2, 3, 4, but if we start at 0, anything that comes before 0 is like -1, -2, -3. So if you think of it in that sense, while you're going through your journey, say you start at -50, right? Those years that I was going through, um, that 5 years time was my deconstruction time. Okay. And that's a part of your journey too, is getting rid of everything that has been a part of your past. Right. So if I started at -50, I got rid of one thing from my past, right? Oops, sorry about that. I meant to turn this. Okay, there we go. Um, I got rid of one thing and then I went to -49, right? And I got rid of another thing from my past, whether it be relationships, situations, my job at the time, right? Um, Everything in essence, I lost everything from my past. Like I have nothing or I have no one from my past in this present time. So little by little, as I'm building it up, right? I get to now -5. And kind of at this time that if you've watched my last video, it's called Being Held in Place. And you're going to go into this period of isolation just before the 0 point. This is where you're digging in deep for it was probably easier for you to get rid of those -50s, the -44s, the big things, right? As we're getting down to now the -6, -5, it's harder now to really dig down and get those last pieces out of our life. Okay. Soon you're getting to now -1. And the universe is making you sit, right? Being held in place in isolation. And don't take it as a punishment. It's not a punishment. It's for you, in order for you to get to your next life, right? I always talk about having 2 lives within one lifetime. Um, you need to sit with the universe and say, what else do I need to rid myself from the past life? Okay. Once all those things are gone, you now sit at the 0 point. So, as you guys know, I am a psychic. I'm also a tarot reader. And in tarot, the major arcana is what we call something about the fool's journey, right? I wanted to grab these cards out just to show you. So the fool actually is number 0. That's a starting point, right? That's when everything's brand new. There's a new beginning. But the thing is, he's just starting out. He's just setting off, right? He doesn't have a lot of things with him. He has a little knapsack. He's ready to just whatever the universe brings to him. He's kind of has his arms open, right? Whatever the universe brings to him, he's ready to receive. And many times it's going to be something, I shouldn't say many times, this next life is going to be something that's totally different than what your first life was. Also in tarot, we have what's called the world. Oops, I need to cover her up, right? We have something that's called the world card. Okay. And that's the last major arcana, which is number 21. So say that -1 is that 21, that last card, where you're at the end, you've completed that cycle, you are done with that past life, okay? It's no more. Anything, I think this video is going to go longer than I thought it was going to go, but anything that that I picked up, I know in these last couple months, thinking, okay, maybe these people are supposed to be part of my new life. Nope. Universe got rid of them. Not taking anything, anyone, any situation, anything with you into this next life. So right now I have absolutely no one in my life. No one. Like there's people here in my community. I'll say hi to, how you doing? What's up? But other than that, no relationships. All my relationships, my family relationships have all ended from previously. Now, at the 0 point, right, we're going back to that math line. I don't know what that, I should have looked up what that's called. From that 0 point, right, you start building. Now, this is the rebuilding. Everything has been taken away. So you now start at 1, right? Bringing something new into your life, 1, and then 2, bringing something else. And maybe it's a person, a place, maybe a new home, whatever it may be, okay? There's this rebuilding going on. You may be seeing on the clock 1, 2, 3, 4, 12:34, talking about it's now a step-by-step rebuilding of this new life. Because right now, for me, and you'll get to this point, you're at this 0 point. I'm at this 0 point, okay? So a couple of things I wrote down just in case you see me looking over. Um, I was thinking of, I was there on 9/11, and I was actually across the Hudson River in Jersey City. I had just started working for this Wall Street firm, and I was working in the office across the Hudson River, directly across from the World Trade Center, and witnessed the second plane go in, and then I witnessed the falling of both towers. And as you know, they ended up calling that area ground zero, right? And also, I should have grabbed that one. There's something in, there's also a major arcana in the tarot called the Tower, which is really odd. And it's about the destruction of a tower. Okay. Something that's firm, something that's steadfast, something that you don't think is ever going to fall down. And it does. It's just like our life. So that was our first life, right? We thought that this life is going to go on the way it has gone on for all these years, and it's going to continue as it was. And then the universe steps in and breaks down that tower. And little by little, right? Minus 50, minus 44, minus 6, little by little, that tower has been taken away. So now you're at 0 point. The construction workers had to come in and clear away all those pieces that was left over from the World Trade Center. And they had just an open um, plot of land that was empty. There was nothing there, right? Time to now rebuild. So brick by brick, or however they built it, steel beam by steel beam, they built, I don't forget what they call the new tower, Liberty Tower. I forget what they call it. I've lived there for all these years, and I don't even like, it's like when you live in New York, you don't even like really like go to these main attraction things. It's kind of weird. But anyway, off topic. Something had to be rebuilt where something was torn down. Okay. So now we have, I think it's called the Liberty Tower, right? With the tower that they built there. I don't even know. Now it's going to bother me. I'm going to have to look it up. um, so now there's a brand new tower there, right? And then same thing with when you come to this point on at the end of your journey, at 0 point, it's time now to rebuild your new life. You can't, and you know, they didn't rebuild another tower similar that was the same as the last two towers, right? The new tower looks totally different than those twin towers. So you're rebuilding something that's totally different than what was originally there for this next life. Okay. Right. Like I said, I'm trying to keep it not too long. I'm doing pretty good so far. It's like I haven't had too much to say, and I wanted to make these last few videos really thoughtful and for you to understand like what happens at the end of this journey. So everything that I'm going through, I wanted you guys to understand in totality. Okay. Um, so I think I did a video on April 30th, which was for some reason an important date for me during my travel journey. So on 4/30/2020 is when I moved from my apartment in New York and moved in with a family member in New Jersey. And then that date, other things happen. Something always seemed to happen on that date each year. So now when I came to this year, 4:30, I'm expecting something. Okay, I'm bracing for something to happen. There's going to be, I don't know what's going to happen, but something's going to happen. And oh my goodness, it was like the calmest time period where nothing happened. And if you follow like the moon cycles, which I do, because I'm not, I don't know a lot about um, astrology, but I follow the moon cycles, and my moon is in Taurus. And this last full moon, it actually was a super moon, um, was in Taurus. So I expected to have a lot of shifting and really feeling this moon. But the thing was, it was so gentle, the shifting that I felt going on. It was so calming and it was so grounding. And Taurus is an earth sign, which is all about grounding and foundation and really feeling more um, in tune with oneself and in tune with nature and the earth, right? Even like our homes, whatever we may do for our work, things like that. So it's funny that that moon came around the same time that I'm going through this 0 point time also. Um, I think that's it about talking about 0 point, but just understanding that you're going to get to this point where after your isolation, that everything that was previously, all those again, -50s, -44s, you're getting rid of each thing from your past life. And now at the 0 point, it's time to start rebuilding into your new life. Okay, starting at 1, 2, 3, slowly. It's nothing fast, there's nothing speedy. It's just like when you started that first life, right? As a child, as an infant, you learn each thing, how to walk, how to talk, going to school, everything happened one day at a time. So that's the same thing with this. I think that's what this full moon is trying to say. Stay grounded, go slow, right? Because earth signs are all a very slow energy. Go slow and take your time and do your planning as far as how you want to go into this new life. Okay. One thing I just wanted to say is also just like a little addition. People aren't, well, you already know going through your ascension journey that people aren't going to understand what you're going through. People may take it as you're having some kind of mental issue or depression or whatever. And again, if you feel like that may be the case, please seek out professional help. But also know that you're going through a spiritual ascension, okay? Um, and if you have the signs for that, understand that others are not going to understand what you're going through. And you have, family especially is hard because like, what's wrong with them? Like, why are they acting like this? Why are they sitting in their room? Why are they not coming out or joining our family gatherings and things like that? I know family's going to want explanations, but everyone else, we don't owe any explanation to anyone. Okay. And I think that was the hardest thing for me being a people pleaser before. And that's a part of something I had to get rid of out of my life and say, it's none of your business what I'm doing with my life. Um, and even people here that I had kind of gotten close to in the community are kind of saying, oh, what's wrong? She stays in, her apartment all the time and stuff like that. But, that's their problem, not mine. They're kind of busybodies, and I'm happy that spirit took them out of my life anyway. But just know that you don't have to explain anything to anyone. It's your life, it's your ascension. It's between you and the universe, you and spirit, you and the divine. And this period of time is for you to spend with the divine to upgrade your abilities, whether they be healing, psychic, your intuition, anything like that, that you may have already started to have, but you're getting upgraded also in that way. So I think that's it. I think I'm going to leave it here. I appreciate you guys. I hope this helps you in some ways. And I know that this will come to you at the right time. And again, if you have any questions, please feel free to reach out if you would like to talk about your own journey. There's a link to book time with me, and I'll see you in the next one.